single-use plastics. In other words, I don't like them.
Oh, you don't like
because
it?
Well, now it's when you get on an aircraft or something like that, and you're served that little meal,
yes.
and it's all single-use plastics or something. And I've noticed that really over the last year, things are changing.
They are.
There's a lot more bamboo cutlery, for instance, you sort of start to notice these things. They're still serving drinks in little plastic cups, which you then just get rid of. But I think they're trying.
They are, because...
I think that's interesting.
It is, it certainly is. And the EU has just announced a ban on all single-use plastic packaging in hotels. It's going to come into effect from 2030.
Gosh, that's going to be quite something. It's going to range from mini toiletries, which you love.
Which I love.
Yeah, little plastic
and I always
ones,
steal.
which are stupid, because you can never get the shampoo out of them anyway.
It's true, you have to really...
They're really stupid. There's so little. There's no way of actually squirting the shampoo out of them. So that's mini toiletries are going to go. Individual milk portions. Yes.
Is that the milk you get the UHT?
Yes.
Maybe for the best.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's disgusting stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe you've got to take your own supplies with you. You'll have to start thinking about it. So do you think it is right for that ban on all plastic packaging?
Well, joining us now to discuss this is journalist Mike Buckley, who is against the ban, and CEO and founder of Climate Explorers, Isaac Kenyon, who thinks it's a great idea. Isaac, let's start with you. Good morning to both of you. But Isaac, you think it's a great idea. Why?
Well, it's a great idea because we do need to move away from plastic. We do need to get away from these environmentally damaging and also damaging forever chemicals that sometimes plastic has. And most of the plastic that we're dealing with that's in food packaging now has maybe endocrine and disrupting chemicals within them that rubs off into our food. So it's quite dangerous for the human health system, disrupting hormones. So we do need to start very urgently moving across, because there is a health crisis coming from just plastics. But I mean, we see it all the time in pictures of birds choking on plastic and things like this. It's awful to see. You know, it's a no-brainer. We do need to move away from this into a more circular economy model and perhaps some other bio-based packaging sources.
Yeah, Mike, how can you possibly defend the use of single-use plastics now?
No, I'm not against the ban. I'm not defending the use of single-use plastics. I'm only against this in the sense I just don't think it goes far enough or fast enough. So they're talking, for example, about reducing in total the use of packaging by 15%, so 15%. So only a very small reduction, really. By the year 2040, that's 16 years away. So while this sounds like a great policy, it's not going anywhere near far enough. And by the way, the law we have in the UK doesn't go anywhere near far enough either. We're talking about getting rid of all possible waste by the year 2042, which is nearly 20 years away. So both in the UK and in the EU, we've got governments talking about this, but they're not going fast enough to reduce the packaging that we need to see reduced.
OK then, Mike, what would you like to see instead? Have we still got Mike, or is Mike?
Well, I'd like to see both in the EU and in the UK. Yeah, can you hear me OK?
Yeah, we've got you now, Mike. Carry on, sorry.
Great, good stuff. Sorry about that. I was just saying what I'd like to see in both the EU and in the UK is a much swifter move to remove plastic from our system, particularly single-use plastic, because otherwise we're going to keep putting plastic into the system. And as the other gentleman was just saying, there's a lot of single-use plastics in the system. It is causing damage to wildlife and the environment. It is causing harm to us. There's microplastic in all of our bodies. I read recently that every birth that was monitored, they found microplastics in the placenta of the baby, of the birth. This is the world we're now living in, and we should be seeking to very swiftly move beyond it.
I mean, am I right in thinking, Isaac, that airlines, for instance, are going to drop the 100 ml rule, which means that even in your hand luggage on an aircraft, you'll be able to take bottles of shampoo with you, for instance?
I haven't actually covered that specifically myself, so I'll be able to comment on that. But if that is the case, then, you know, that is a slight move forward. I think all of these decisions that are being made on the EU law around, you know, banning single-use plastics and also reducing plastic waste packaging is that step forward. I mean, you take an inch, you start moving forward from that, and then suddenly maybe next year the target will be stretched, and then the next year the target will stretch even more. So it's only the beginning, really, to a more circular model. So although there are small changes, it does feel really insignificant at the moment, because it's, you know, not all of the forever chemicals, not all of the single-use plastic is being banned, and it only applies to sort of largest businesses. Not all small businesses are included. So although, you know, it is very small and marginal, it's still something that will lead to a bigger impact later. And you know, we've got to take these wins as they come.
Okay, Isaac Kenyon, really good to see you this morning. Thank you very much indeed, and thank you as well to Mike Buckley, the journalist who